So welcome back to this histogram equalization lecture again. So I briefly introduce you to the concept and what is the expectation out of this particular image, right, in the previous class. And as the name suggests, it is something like an approach which is used towards equalization of the histogram. And there is some analogy with the audio equalization. You might have used it at least once in your lifetime, right? That audio equalization. Some of the players like Winamps and all used to have this audio equalization where you essentially equalize the frequency components in the audio signal so that your sound looks good, and you can change the equalizer to have the effect of different types, right? Something like bass or something like that. So similar to that, here histogram is similar. So histogram is what? Is actually the number of times a particular intensity is occurring in an image, right? So if you equalize that, you may get a better looking image. So that is the concept. Okay. So if I see the histogram of this particular image, it is something like this. As I said, it is darkish because most of the intensity is contributed or concentrated in this maybe around 64th intensity level. And all I need to do is to try and see whether I can equalize the distribution so that it starts looking flatter. Okay. So that is the major aim. How shall I go about it is the challenge. Okay, so you will be actually seeing it, right? It's a very, very simple operation, but at this point for us it looks very, very non-intuitive, right? How shall I make it flat? If I make it flat, fully flat, then what is going to happen is like image structure will start to change, right? Imagine that all the pixels are having same intensity, same number of occurrences, all intensities. That's not possible because then the structure will go, right? Because there is a reason why the structure is preserved, because the concentration is different. It's not equal. So each image has its characteristic histogram. So we are trying to change the natural characteristics of that histogram to make it look better. Okay. So overdoing this process may kill the image completely. Okay. So I will show you that also. Histogram equalization is good, but sometimes it will fail. So you have to be careful. Okay. So again, this is the crux for it. So I can't do much on the contrast stretching because that is the first step you should always do. You plot the histogram and see whether there is a scope for contrast stretching, right? Can I stretch it to the full dynamic range? Here is there's a small scope, but nothing beyond that. Okay, so do that, of course, small contrast stretching, and after that, still the problem here is this guy. So shall I do histogram equalization? So let's deep dive. Okay, so this is the histogram and I normalized it now. So in the previous chart, if you see, this is number of pixels. Now in this case I divided by the number of pixels, total number of pixels. So it is sort of a normalized histogram, or in your probability terms it is like the probability of existence or probability of occurrence for this particular intensity is this much percentage, right? We explained that in the previous lectures. So again, you can do contrast stretching as we discussed, slight contrast stretching, which will push it to the 0 to 255. That is done. And this plot is nothing but the cumulative density function or the cumulative sum. Okay, so basically cumulative histogram, right? I just did a cumulative sum of this, basically adding up each one of these intensities together and get something like this. Again, the analog is very, very straightforward. Till this point, nothing, no pixel is, no intensity is existing, and that is why this is 0. And then it is a gradual increase, that is why the slope is also gradual. Majority is actually here. Okay, so let me actually put it in terms of pen. So majority is in this region. Okay, so you have 50 to somewhere around 200 is where most of the intensity is concentrated, around this region, right? So let me erase the ink again to explain it clearly. So you can see the highest intensity is somewhat here. Okay, so somewhere around 64. So if I see the slope actually is quite heavy in this region, that in this particular region I would say. Okay, so somewhere here. That is why the slope is very heavy. And at the end again, it is really a less number. So you can see over here, the number is very less. So even if you sum it up, the slope will be very slow. So you have flat, then the slope is increasing, some sudden increase here, then again it becomes narrow, and the slope is really, really slow and nothing here. Okay, so that is the 0 region here. So it's sort of one to one, right? Everything is, this is really derived from this. Of course, it has to follow. Now, my dream is actually to have a flat representation. So when I say flat representation is exactly what? So I have a histogram. Okay, so let's say the histogram is something like this, which is actually showing here. So this is 0, this is 255, and this is of course 0 to this value, some value. Okay, but the sum should be 1. Okay, so this is normalized. Okay, so my dream is actually to come up with a histogram, or to change the shape of this histogram to make it start looking like this. Okay, a flat one. Ideally I cannot go till there, but I want to actually put it as flat. Now if it is really flat, that means all the pixels should have, the entire image, all the intensities should have same number of occurrences, right? So then this axis here should be a constant value. Okay, so this will be something like 1 by 250, whatever maximum, 255. Okay, so that should be the occurrence of this guy, or in general terms this be 2n minus 1. Okay, I'm just telling the numbers. If you don't worry about it, if you don't understand it. So this is something that happens, right? This is my dream. Okay, I want to put this guy to be looking more like this. Ideally cannot be looking like a flat, because then the structure of the image is going to get affected, but try to move towards that. So that is the objective for you in histogram equalization. So if the histogram is really flat, okay, so if the histogram was some flat region like this, okay, I'm just putting up some numbers. Okay, if it is really flat like this, how does the cumulative histogram or the cumulative density function of this particular guy looks like? It's a constant value. So if you sum it up, it will be like a ramp, right? Exactly like this. So you see here, okay, so it is starting 0, then as each value comes in, this is constant, it will start to look like a ramp. Okay, so this is my dream. So my whatever the histogram is, okay, if I make it flat, my problem is actually I will lose out the structure. And if it is flat, the cumulative density function should look like this. So my objective can either be like you put this across such that it becomes, so maybe compress this region and expand this region or increase this region. Essentially what I am achieving is this blue line will tend to move towards the red line. Okay, so that is the main objective for histogram equalization. I hope I am conveying the concept clearly here. You take a histogram, you do contrast stretching, and then if you observe that it is really having huge occurrence for a particular intensity, you can try histogram equalization. All you are doing in histogram equalization is to make the histogram look like a constant histogram, or your cumulative density function to look like a linear operator, right? And now is the most interesting aspect. Okay, so let me try to bring it out. Let me see if I can correctly bring it out for you. Okay, so okay, let me see that. Okay, so this is something like this. Okay, let me just put it. Yeah, so this is our original image again, and the histogram, all well known. Problem is it is concentrated in this region, so I want to make it flatten. And this is the cumulative density function. Now I am going to do a trick here. So you might have already seen this. The y-axis was in the previous chart, it was actually going to 0 to 1. I am going to use, I am giving a try here. Okay, so sometimes it is always good to actually do it first and then go back to the max. So I am going to do this. So the y-axis, I am scaling it back to the original intensity 255. X-axis is 255, y-axis is 255, and now this is going to be my transfer function. So I am going to apply this onto my image, the original image here. Okay, so basically what it means, what this transfer function means is basically this is your input intensity, this is your output intensity. So input intensity will be mapped accordingly. Okay, so let's say 100 is here, so 100 will be mapped to something here. Okay, so now you think what is essentially going to happen. Okay, so I will start from, let's say, 0. So 0 is here, 0 is kept as it is most of the time, and so on. So a lot of these things will actually go to 0. Okay, so that is a problem. We will see that. So a lot of this, and similarly lot of 255 entire this region. Okay, if you see here, entire this region, okay, it will go to 255 again. So that is not touched here. But what about these guys? So let's take this guy. Okay, so this guy is actually having lot of occurrence. Okay, if you see here, it is having lot of occurrence, and that guy, okay, is, so essentially what is, I mean, maybe I'll put it this way. So this entire thing, if you see, okay, so let me just put the pen out. So if you see this stretch, okay, so that stretch is basically this part, and the interesting part is, if you see here, if you see this dimension is actually only this much, okay, in the input, this much, okay. When you map it, so let me just put that curve out. I'm sure those who are really understanding this now itself, they can actually see what is happening. So maybe I discard it and draw it again for you. Sorry for that. So use my pen here. So this region basically, okay, this is the crux, right? Major part. And it's a very beautiful approach. I mean, you can always appreciate this. This is a major part of my intensity distribution. And I'm going to map it to an image, I mean to a region, something like this. So you see already the region was very small. Let me take another ring so that it becomes more clear to you. Okay. So this was in the input image. Okay. So those who are confusing, this is my input intensity, and this was my output intensity. And what is this curve? This curve is nothing but the cumulative, the cum sum of my this guy, okay, cum sum of my histogram multiplied by 255. That's all I did, because cum sum of this guy will give me this value as 1, and I multiply by 255, I got this, and this I'm going to use as a transfer function now. Okay, so this is every input intensity will be mapped to an output intensity. That's all we need to do. So how does it work? You go inside the image, this image, you take each pixel, you find the intensity of that pixel, you come back to this curve and then map it to a corresponding intensity at the output. So let's say this spot I'm taking, okay, this guy has a value of 64. So I'll go here, I'll take 64 from here, okay, and then it maps to some value here. Okay, so that is what you are going to do. Okay, so essentially what happens here is a smaller distribution or a smaller range of intensity was having majority of distribution. It gets mapped to a bigger distribution here, or bigger range here rather. Okay, so you see this distance, right, is definitely higher than this distance. You see here. So this was the range of intensities where majority of my pixels were having the intensity, but that distribution is now much wider. That is exactly our objective, right? I want to actually distribute the intensities, the occurrence of intensities more and more, and that way I can make it flatten. So here the problem was with this region which was having majority of intensity. Now I distributed it among much more intensities, right? Much more intensities still here rather. Okay, so you can see the difference. Now let me just discard it, okay, and only make necessary things visible to you. So this is sort of the crux region which is actually getting mapped to a bigger region here, right? And how does the image looks like? Let me put it. Sorry. Okay, how does the image look like? Histogram, yes, beautiful. So all we did is actually sort of stretching this region into a bigger region. So smaller region being stretched to a bigger region. You can think back like a contrast, stretching, right? Contrast stretching, similar to that. And then I distributed it. Now you see it was actually only this much. Now it is slightly distributed like this much. And you see the bad effect. The bad effect is this regions. And you can understandable here because many intensities are in the input is mapped to one particular value in the output, and similarly here also. And that is why this sort of things happen. But if you do proper contrast stretching, maybe this can be avoided. But having said that, let's do this contrast stretching and see the final image. Wow, this region was really darkish. This region was really darkish, which starts to appear now. Remove all the ink so that you can better appreciate it. Okay, so I'll have another slide with these two images alone, so it becomes more clearer there. But all we did is actually a very simple operation. So step number 1, take the histogram of the image. Okay, so I'm going to tell the entire process here. So step number 1, histogram, right? Normalized, I would say. Okay, so this is step number 1. Okay, now step number 2. What is step number 2? Okay, we use another ring so that it's clear to you. Step number 2, create the cumulative histogram. Nothing but cum sum of this guy, right? And this is this guy. And then I multiplied it by 255. Because this guy will go up to 1 only. I multiply it to 255, and now I'm going to use this as the transfer function for my image. The point operation transfer function is my image. So this is input, this is output. All I need to do then now is you go through each pixel here and then find that intensity and map it to the output intensity. After that, if I plot the histogram, I start to get this, right? And the image of that will automatically looks like this. So third step is use the cumulative histogram as a transfer function. What do you mean by transfer function is exactly this: j of xy is equal to f of I of xy, right? Here what is I? I is nothing but, come on, I is what? I is nothing but cumulative intensity of, right, histogram of I of xy. I think there's a nice term too, so I will put normalized. That is understandable here. You take the histogram of I of xy, you normalize it, you take the cumulative histogram of that, then you multiply by 255, and this is actually this function, right? And rest is history, I hope. So I hope it's very clear to you, and if you have any lack of clarity here, always feel free to come back to this again and again, and so that you understand it. So this is how the two images looks like. So this is the original image and this is the histogram equalized image. The drawback, I could easily see this region is saturated, and that I can always go back and see here because of this problem. I mean these two regions will get corrupted, and that you can see over here. So some of the dark regions, for example here and whitish regions are sort of saturated. And you can actually do better by having a proper contrast stretching at the start. Okay, when what I mean is actually here, if you properly do the contrast stretching, then probably these things can be avoided. Okay, so that is histogram equalization. So what did we do? We took the image, we took the histogram, we normalized the histogram, we took the cumulative sum of the histogram, then we used that as the transfer function for the input image. That's all. Okay, so some maths behind it. Okay, so this is what exactly what we achieved, but not really. I mean, okay, let me just go back. So you compare these two, right? This has got changed to more of a uniform region, not really flat, but trying to make it flat. Okay, so that's what I'm saying here. Okay, so you have to come up with some transfer function which can map this to look like this, not exactly like this, but something like this. Okay, so our aim is essentially, histogram equalization, our aim is essentially this. Okay, make the probability mass function or make the histogram looks flatter. Okay, some max part of it, if you are really keen on this, I'll just quickly gone through, because if you understand the concept, is hardly matters. You know how to do it, right? So it hardly matters. So what we essentially did is we have a probability distribution or a histogram like this. We mapped it using some function, and the irony of it is this function turned out to be the cumulative density function of the histogram itself, right? So then if you map, what essentially you did is a flatter region got prolonged, right? Its intensity is increased and became narrower, right? And a region which was taller got into flatter, and at the same time intensity is got reduced. So this is what we did actually. The area under the curve was kept constant. So P of y, which is basically at this point into dy, right? So that is the measure, the probability measure in this guy, and that is made equal to this guy. And by a small derivation like this, so let me just put it in now official mathematical terms. So this is what we wanted to achieve. I don't want to really change the pixel structure, right? I don't want to really change the structure of the image. So all I need to see is whether I can distribute the intensities equally without affecting the structure, and that's what exactly this formula suggests. Okay, you keep the structure, the distribution same. Okay, you can't really change the image, the distribution of the intensities, but the intensity, the value, the occurrence of those values, can I change it? Okay, so that is exactly achieved by using this formula. Okay, so this is basically what we are trying to do. Okay, so P of y is assumed to be 1. That is my dream. Okay, everything has to be flat, but it's not really possible to achieve that. But let's try to see whether I can achieve it. Okay, that's what I'm trying to see here. Everything equally probable. Okay, equally likely. Intensities, all intensities have equal occurrence. That's what I'm trying to see. And the range of x and y, for the sake of easiness, I'm putting it to be 1. So then in this formula, if I put, okay, P of y as 1, dy is nothing but P of x into dx, and I can put dx into this side. So dy by dx is P of x, and then of course y can be put it into this formula, right? Y is nothing but integral from 0 to x, P of u du, right? Y. Okay, so it's quite straightforward, right? It's quite possible. And now what is this guy? Integral from 0 to x, cumulative sum of your probability distribution. Wow, we derived it, right? So cumulative sum of this is nothing but histogram distribution for us, and 0 to x, I'm summing up till that particular value. What is that? That is nothing but the cumulative sum of the particular histogram. Okay, so you can treat it this way: P of x is the original histogram, okay, and P of y is the expected histogram. And then finally, if I do all these, finally what I get is actually the image y, okay, image y should be a function of the cumulative histogram of image x. So that is what essentially this mathematical derivation is telling you, okay. And this is what we intuitively proven. So if you really don't understand the mathematical part of it, this is how people establish the technique mathematically. But if you really not understanding it, you can safely ignore it. There's no problem. It's slightly tricky to understand, but intuitively it's very easy. The way I explained in the previous slide is very, very easy to understand. You should be able to follow. So what essentially, again I'm going back to because you should not lose out the bigger picture. So what essentially we did is, we are trying to stretch the histogram in such a way that it looks flatter. Okay, so to do that, essentially what we did is, we can't change the structure of the image. So that constraint should be always there to keep the structure of the image same. That is why the area under the curve is kept constant. This is equal to this. Okay, so the structure, the overall distribution cannot change. The overall distribution cannot change. But can I make up and down changes on the intensity so that it looks more flatter? And if you go about doing it mathematically, you end up in a formula where your original image is a function of the cumulative density function of your histogram of the started image, right? I mean, wherever you started, the original image is x, take the histogram of it, take the cumulative histogram of it, that becomes the transfer function for the image. If you do that, you end up in getting a histogram equalized image. Okay, so that's it. So we will stop for the moment, and now the question comes. So now I am motivating you to the next process. Okay, so if I can do histogram equalization, can I actually change the histogram of one image to start looking like another image? Wow. Okay, so I have a very good contrast image and I have a very bad contrast image. Histogram equalization also is not helping me in improving the contrast of the bad image, but can I take the histogram of the good image, the good contrast image, and use it for a low contrast image? Wow, super, right? So let's discuss that in the next lecture. Until then, we will meet. So please go back and see these slides if you're not understanding any concepts. Okay, so hope you enjoyed the lecture. See you next time.